Hey everybody, Ayush here. In the fast-paced world of PC gaming, every frame counts. Whether you're exploring vast open worlds or locked in intense multiplayer showdowns, a higher FPS can make the difference between a glorious victory and a frustrating defeat. So if you're ready to crank those frames up to the max and experience silky smooth gameplay, then you're in the right place. In this video, I'm going to share some essential tips and tricks to help you boost your FPS and unleash the full potential of your gaming rig. First things first, let's talk about those graphics drivers. They're like the unsung heroes of your gaming experience, working tirelessly behind the scenes to make sure your games look and run as buttery smooth as possible. Now, if your drivers are outdated, it's like trying to run a marathon with your shoelaces tied together. Graphics card manufacturers like NVIDIA and AMD are constantly releasing new drivers optimized for the latest games and software. These driver updates often contain performance improvements, bug fixes, and even new features that can significantly boost your FPS. So how do you update these magical drivers? Well, it's actually super easy. Head over to the website of your graphics card manufacturer. That's either NVIDIA or AMD, depending on your card. Then, look for the drivers section. Pop in your graphics card model and download the latest drivers for your operating system. Once the download is complete, just run the installer and follow the on-screen instructions. It's usually a pretty straightforward process, kind of like installing any other software. And that's it. Your graphics drivers are now up to date, and you're one step closer to glorious high FPS gaming. Make it a habit to check for updates regularly, maybe once a month or so. Okay, so you've updated your graphics drivers? Awesome! Now, let's dive into the wonderful world of in-game settings, where you can fine-tune your gaming experience to achieve that perfect balance between stunning visuals and buttery smooth performance. Because honestly, what good is a game if it looks like a Pixar movie but runs at 10 frames per second? First up, we've got resolution. This basically determines how many pixels are crammed onto your screen. Higher resolutions mean more detail and sharper images, but they also require more horsepower from your graphics card. If you're struggling to hit your desired FPS, try lowering the resolution a notch or two. You might be surprised by how much of a difference it makes without sacrificing too much visual fidelity. Next, let's talk about texture quality. This setting controls the level of detail on textures, which are basically the images plastered onto all the objects in the game world. Higher texture quality equals sharper, more realistic-looking surfaces, but again, it comes at a performance cost. Experiment with lowering the texture quality a bit, especially if you're rocking an older graphics card, and see if you can find a good compromise between visuals and performance. Now, let's move on to shadows, those sneaky frame rate killers. Shadows can add a lot of depth and realism to a game, but they can also put a serious dent in your FPS. Try lowering the shadow quality or resolution, or even disabling shadows altogether if you're really desperate for a performance boost. Remember, optimizing your in-game settings is all about finding the right balance for your system. Chapter 3. The Upgrade Path. Sometimes, you just gotta embrace the power. Alright, let's talk hardware. The heart and soul of your gaming rig. Sometimes, no matter how much you optimize your settings or tweak your software, the best way to boost FPS is to give your PC a little upgrade love. First up, the big kahuna, the graphics card, or GPU. This bad boy is responsible for rendering all those gorgeous visuals you see on your screen. If you're rocking an older or less powerful graphics card, upgrading to a newer model can significantly boost your FPS, allowing you to crank up those settings and enjoy a smoother, more immersive gaming experience. Next, let's talk about the CPU, or Central Processing Unit, the brains of your computer. While the GPU handles most of the heavy lifting when it comes to graphics, The CPU plays a vital role in overall system performance, including gaming. If your CPU is bottlenecking your graphics card, upgrading to a faster, more powerful model can help unleash its full potential, resulting in higher FPS and smoother gameplay. And of course, we can't forget about RAM, or random access memory. Adding more RAM to your system can help alleviate this bottleneck, resulting in faster loading times, smoother gameplay, and yes, even higher FPS. Think of it this way: you're not just upgrading your PC, you're upgrading your entire gaming experience. Chapter 4. Software Secrets: Unleashing Hidden Performance with a Few Clicks. Beyond the realm of hardware upgrades, there's a whole world of performance-enhancing software just waiting to be explored. These handy tools can help you optimize your system for gaming, squeeze out extra FPS, and ensure your PC is running at peak performance. First up, we've got Game Boosters, those magical little programs that work behind the scenes to prioritize gaming performance. They do this by temporarily shutting down unnecessary background processes, freeing up system resources like CPU cycles and RAM that your games can then use to run smoother and faster. Then there are system cleaners, those digital janitors that help keep your PC spick and span. They scan your system for junk files, temporary data, and other digital clutter that can slow things down over time. By getting rid of all that unnecessary baggage, system cleaners can free up valuable disk space, reduce system lag, and even improve overall performance, including in games. And hey, while we're talking about software, let's not forget about the importance of keeping your operating system and other software up to date. Using performance-enhancing software is like giving your PC a good tune-up. Chapter 5. System TLC: A clean PC is a happy and fast PC. Alright, we've covered a lot of ground here, but let's not forget about the importance of good old-fashioned system maintenance. Just like a car needs regular tune-ups to run smoothly, your PC needs a little TLC every now and then to stay in tip-top shape and deliver those glorious high FPS you crave. First up, let's talk about dust, the silent killer of PCs everywhere. Dust bunnies love to accumulate inside your computer case, clogging up fans, heat sinks, and other components. This can lead to overheating, reduced performance, and even hardware failure in extreme cases. So grab yourself a can of compressed air, open up your PC case carefully, and give everything a good blast of air to remove any dust buildup. Speaking of overheating, let's talk about cooling. Modern CPUs and GPUs generate a lot of heat, especially when they're pushed to their limits during gaming. If your PC isn't adequately cooled, those components can throttle their performance to prevent damage, resulting in lower FPS and a less enjoyable gaming experience. Make sure your CPU cooler is properly installed and functioning correctly, and consider adding additional case fans to improve airflow inside your case. And while we're on the topic of system maintenance, let's not forget about defragmenting your hard drive. Keeping your system clean, cool, and well-maintained is like giving your PC a spa day. Outro: unleash your FPS and game on. So there you have it, folks. We've covered a ton of ground today, from updating your graphics drivers to optimizing in-game settings, from upgrading your hardware to using performance-enhancing software, and even giving your system some much-needed TLC. Implementing these tips can significantly boost your FPS, giving you a smoother, more enjoyable gaming experience. Experiment with different settings, find what works best for your system, and don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Well, maybe not literally. And as always, if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more tech tips, tricks, and shenanigans.